What's up, guys? AverageKiwiGuy here. How y'all doing? So I gotta apologize. I haven't put out too many videos in the past sort of 4 or 5 days. Mainly because my life has been taken over by the hunt. And that is Monster Hunter World. It has been so good. And I wanted to do this with you after playing the game for a decent amount of time. Because Monster Hunter is so tricky. Because this is like a game that you can put hundreds of hours into. Literal hundreds. And I wanted to get to a point where I was like, right, I'm completely, sold on my opinions of this game, like where I think the problems are, things like that. That was my main thing. So I put over 60 hours into the game. I'm at Hunter Rank 14. I'm in high rank stuff. I have not pushed the progression all that much because I've been going around doing like different weapons, different armor sets, doing the optional hunts, investigations. There's so much stuff you can do that is not the central quest. That's the kind of the awesome part of this game, is that there's so much to do. So much to do. That being said, there is problems with the game. There is a few things here and there, mainly with the multiplayer, that they do need to sort out. It's a little clunky. It's a little bit of an inconvenience in places. So hopefully they can address that, but we'll get into that. So, obviously, going to this game, I was very hyped, and I don't normally like to get hyped for games. Because normally, games can't meet those expectations. When people, they have these huge expectations for the game, it's basically the No Man's Sky effect, right? Everyone was like, galaxies and things, it's just big, and then when they get it, it's just an empty shell, and it's not what they expect. So I like to keep my expectations low. This, on the other hand, I kind of let myself go a little bit, I kind of let myself go a little bit, got into the trailers, got into the stuff that was coming out, little news bits here and there. And I was not disappointed at all with this game. I had not been disappointed for 1 second of this game. It is just... everything that I thought it was going to be is just nailed. It's just nailed it. I've had, 60 plus hours, and I have not hated one of them. I have not hated one of them. It has been so good. That being said, I am a Monster Hunter fan. I started playing Monster Hunter, I think Monster Hunter Portable 2, which is like now Freedom United or something. And then I got into Try on the Wii. And then, I kind of went back to Try a couple of months ago. I started emulating it on Dolphin because it makes it look so much better. I've dabbled in the DS stuff. I've dabbled with, 3U and 4U. But these hands were not made to play Monster Hunter on the DS. I can't do it. I can't do the camera. It just does not want to work. And it kills me. It kills me that I couldn't make it work. I'm even like, I went and got like the controller thing, but it doesn't fit my DS, so then I had to go buy, I'm gonna have to go buy an older DS, all this stuff, right? All this stuff. So when, Monster Hunter World gets announced and all the rest of it, that just set me off, and I was ready. I was absolutely ready. PS4, PS4 Pro, that's what I've been playing it on. And obviously about, 6 to 8 months late, to go, I think August, PC version comes out. And this game on PC will be absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So why do I love this game so much? Apart from me being a Monster Hunter fanboy and all the rest of it. For me, it's just being the combat. The combat, and that's everything with Monster Hunter. That's everything. Like, if the combat is bad, it would have been a big problem for Monster Hunter. But for me, it's like it's taken that next step forward. In terms of the mechanics, how smooth the combat is, and how, you've got, for me, I use the Switch Axe. Switch Axe is my baby. It's my main. I love it. And I've also dabbled in the Charge Blade and also the bow as well, which has been quite fun. It is just so smooth. And the combos that come, with the Switch Axe, when you switch from axe to blade form, it's just so smooth, and the combos that come off it. And then you got sliding, and you can do, different weapons have different moves of sliding down hills. And that's a mechanic that you can use, and that helps you beat monsters and things like that. Then you have the mounting and all the rest of it. And the special moves that each one has, and that obviously that's been a thing in other, Monster Hunter games, but just it being on a, on this stage and sort of being like HD res and everything, like it's all there and it just looks so good. So good, and it feels so good when you're fighting these monsters. Like, that's always a big thing with me with games, is especially with combat. It's that feel that you have. I know it's weird, but if I'm not feeling the combat, I'm not feeling the weight of, hitting things with, the switch axes, the difference between the axe form and the sword form, that sort of thing, then I'm not going to be into it. But this I've just, it's been so good. So good. And like the beauty of it is that you have training rooms to help you. And then obviously as you go through the game, you get better and better and you feel it. And then you also have tons of, upgrade versions of the weapon that you want to do. And then if you get bored of that weapon, you just go get another one and you go do something else for another, 20 hours if you want. Like that's just been the beauty of it. It's so good. It's so good. I love it. I love the combat. And then you put the monsters on top of it. And so you got your very iconic monsters for Monster Hunter. Yeah, you got Rathian, Rathalos, Diablos, guys like that. The hallmark of Monster Hunter. And those guys have set things that they're very famous for doing. Rathalos, he's always flying. He's got certain sets of moves that he always has. And he does have them. But I feel like I think they've tweaked them to be a little more unpredictable. So you're not just seeing the same movesets coming out over and over again. The different locales and how you don't have those zones anymore. Like, oh shit, I'm getting wrecked. I got to fall back. You kind of do. Like, you've got like these rooms in this big area. Like in this massive area. It kind of feels like rooms and you can go in and out of them. And the monster doesn't always follow you, but sometimes they do. It feels so much more open, and so many things can happen in these fights. And the fact that you have 2 other monsters that come in, and sometimes more, come in, and craziness happens. Absolute craziness can happen. So there's a video up on the channel of my crazy Azure Rathalos fight, where literally I had a Rathalos fighting Azure Rathalos. Then I had Basilgoose fighting Azure Rathalos. Then I had Anjanath fighting Azure Rathalos. And they all keep bombing it. They all just keep coming in and in and in. And they're all doing it at the same time. And like, it was just insanity. And that's the thing with this game, is that you have this unpredictability with this open environment coming in. And you have little monsters doing things. And you have all this stuff. It just feels like you're in this teeming jungle just trying to hunt this monster, and everything's out to get you sometimes, and everything's out to get the monster that you're hunting. It's very cool. And just the environment stuff that you can use now, the environmental traps, the wildlife. I mean, you have frogs, you have different things that can help you. The Vigor Wasp for heals. Tree vines to swing from, beetles you can zip up to with your grappling hooks. The grappling hook is a nice addition, by the way. Just, all that stuff is added to the combat. It has made it so good. So good. And then just, obviously seeing the monsters in HD on a bigger screen, high def, just, it's so good. It's really cool to see them that way. And like the detail in them and stuff. It's very good. So something that also is added to the combat, mainly if you're either playing single player or duos, is your little Palico companion. Now, companions in past Monster Hunters have not always been the best. They'll always, like, they don't always, do their skills at the right time. They blow you up with bombs. Like, there's just always something crazy happening with them. This time, your Palico feels like an actual worthy companion. Like, they're doing things. You see them do things. You see them, like, the things that they do are so cool. And the weapons you give them changes the way they fight sometimes. And they go up, and they can literally do a reasonable little amount of damage to them, depending on like what weapon you have. It is very cool. And then you have the gadgets that they have. You have these gadgets, which You know, like vigor wasps that can heal you, and then like later on they can do a station so they can set up a vigor wasp in the area so that you have one to go to later on if you need it. You know, you have stuff like flash cages, so you have flash bombs and things like that. You have taunts. You have a plunder blade, which can go off and steal materials from the monster. So even if you lose the hunt, you still have that little cash from your guy, from your Palico, which is awesome. And I think there's also like a grenade or something. I haven't unlocked the last gadget because you got to go around and, you know, do these quests for Palico tribes, and I haven't been able to get the last one yet. So I'm pretty sure that's like a grenade. It's like a Molotov or something. I'm not sure, but just from things I've been hearing from people. But it's very, very cool in that way. And the little things like, you know, he goes along, he has a little potion bottle that he drinks, and then in water, they don't go on water. So there's a little raft that comes out, and he fights on the little raft. The things that are very cool. And then the best thing is that when you do the quests for the tribes in each of the area for the Palicos, they teach your Palico how to talk to little like certain monsters in those areas. So like you can in like the ancient forests, he can befriend a Jagras, so he can come. He'll follow us around and help, and he's like an extra person. And then when he blows a horn, he can go on him and ride him and do this stuff. And then like in the Rotten Vale, he can befriend a Gyros, which are like paralyzing sort of Jagras essentially. And that is like very, very awesome. You know, when I was grinding some gear in there, it was so sweet to have this Gyros just constantly biting at the monster, and it's free stuns. It was free stuns all day. It was so good. So it's just that sort of stuff. And then when you find other little Palicos around, when you do, you know, there's other ones out there, he'll befriend them, and then they come along and help you too. So you get another guy to help you. So don't ever feel like you have to play this multiplayer. You don't. The majority of the time, I've been playing it solo. I just like the gameplay solo. I know that's not the most popular thing for Monster Hunter players. Like a lot of us, you know, a lot of them feel like, you know, multiplayer is the only way to go. I like solo. And honestly, it's been less of a problem being solo because of a few issues, and we'll get into that. But yeah, Palicos are awesome. Their armor sets are great. Big plus on that. Big plus. Armor set was for us normal hunters. There are some very, very cool sets out there. Very, very cool sets. I've just finished up my Nugigante set, which is badass. So badass. Like spikes and lava looking everywhere. It's very, very cool. You know, when you get that final piece, it's really cool. So certain ones have set bonuses, but when you get to higher rank, pretty much everyone has set bonuses. And that's generally if you have, some of them have like 2 of them. Like one was like, you know, you get 2 pieces, you get this, and then if you have 4 pieces, you get this. You know, and you have both of them. And they're generally all like that. So you can actually mix match some of the sets to have certain skills that you like. So the skill things in them, you know, they essentially, you know, you can have attack bonuses, you know, elemental resistances, air plugs, which can be for monster roars and stuff like that. There's, you know, a whole bunch of different skills that you can do, which, you know, you kind of got to pick and choose what ones suit your playstyle and what ones suit the weapon that you're actually going with. So that's very cool. I will say for any of you who are new Monster Hunter players that are kind of struggling a little bit, like, man, this monster keeps wrecking me, I don't know why. Your gear is everything. Your gear is everything. If you're getting wrecked by monsters, go check through your gear, your armor, your weapons, and see if you can get better ones. And you may have to go back to a monster you've already beaten and grind that monster for a little while and get their set, you know? So if you're a new Monster Hunter player and you're just struggling a little bit there and you're wondering why, that's it. That's it. That's the key thing with this game is gear is everything. And sometimes you're going to have to go and farm that Anjanath 6 or 7 times to get the plates and get the stuff for it. You know, that's just the way it is. It's the way this Monster Hunter always works. And they have put different things in, like the investigation missions, which give additional rewards, but you can only do them so many times. You know, stuff like that to help with the grind. They've tried to make it less of a pain than what previous Monster Hunters have. I think to make it a little more accessible to people. But I do feel like the grind is there. I don't think, you know, it's not just giving you gear for free. You know? It is there. It's just they've added things like the Plunder Blade that helps, you know, getting materials and stuff like that. There are also tickets that you can get daily with the daily login bonus, which doubles the rewards that you get for that mission. But if you fail, you lose that ticket. So make sure you know that you can get it. Or make sure you got a group that you know they can get it. So be very careful on using those tickets. Use them wisely. So yeah, there are things to help with that grind. Help with the armor and stuff. And then the weapon trees, I mean, it is just a whole screen that steadily grows throughout the game. And you just pick your paths. And the beauty of it now is so you can actually demote back to to a lower rank. You know, the one before the current rank of your weapon. So you can actually go back. So say, you know, a tree branch went down back 1. You can actually go back to that and then go down that tree if you want. So it kind of encourages you to make multiples, you know, go on different trees, try out new things. And that, you know, Monster Hunter games have always done that. So don't be afraid to go and do different things and make a new one. And, okay, this is the ore path. Maybe I'll try the bone path because that leads to one that I quite like and I like the look of. So, you know, and there's all different elements and stuff like that, you know, fire, ice, water, blast, you know, there's a whole bunch of them there, which is very, very cool. And it just adds to the, you know, okay, I got to go farm this one. Okay, I got to go hunt this one because I got to get this set. I got to go down and get this tree. It just eats up the time, man. It eats up the time. Monster Hunter is a big time sink. A big, big time sink. And honestly, for like, you know, for worth of money, for hours of play, you can't really go too much past Monster Hunter for the amount of hours that you can put into the game. You know, it's not a simple 10-hour, 20-hour campaign. This shit will go on for a while, for a long while. You could put easily hundreds of hours into this game, easy. So performance-wise, so I've been running it on a PS4 Pro, with the frame rate option checked. So I've been pushing the frame rate, and from what I've been seeing, from what I'm seeing from others, pretty much getting solid 40, drops down to 30 in busy places. And busy, like, you know, it's just explosions going on everywhere, particles going everywhere, can lag a little bit in places there, but generally pretty solid around 40 FPS. Normal PS4s I've been hearing are sub 30, waivers up and down. Xbox, I have no idea on that one. Xbox One X, I hear it's actually running a little bit better on Xbox One X. But unfortunately, I think majority of the community is on PlayStation. Just because it being Japan is a massive market, and generally they go PlayStation if they're going to buy a console. They're generally portable, but if they're going to go for a console, I think it's normally PlayStation or Nintendo. So, I think majority of players are on PlayStation. But probably the only performance issues I've been having are connection issues. I think mainly just servers struggling a little bit. The multiplayer itself is actually a bit of a problem. So, to play as a group, go into a hunt as a group, and you can go in with 4 players, up to 4 players. Everyone in that group, if it's a story mission and it has a cutscene in it, everyone in that mission has to see that cutscene before they can group up and go in and actually do the hunt together. So you have to go in by yourself, see the cutscene, come back out, go back in as a group, and everyone has to see it. So there are very clunky problems with the multiplayer. It's weird stuff. Like, you can make a session with your guys in it, and you can have 16 people in that session, but you can only take 4 on the missions. So you can have a whole big group of yous if you want, and different groups going off with each other. But if not everyone has not seen that cutscene in that group of 4, you will not be able to group up together, which is a real pain. It's a real pain. So normally, you have that last person everyone can join on, because they'll set up an SOS flare and anyone can join in on that because you can see it and you just go in. But it's just clunky. It's very, very clunky. Like, you should just be able to go into a mission and, everyone sees the cutscene. It's just pure and simple. Or if you have seen the cutscene, it'll play and you'll just see like a little symbol above their heads, like a few MMOs do, where currently in cutscene, stuff like that. Just let it play. And then let everyone go from there. Apparently this was brought up to them prior. They just haven't dealt with it. They did say they were going to, but no word on that yet. So it's a real bit of a pain. It's a real bit of pain. And one of the few problems I've been having with the game is the multiplayer. I have been dropping out a few times. Not even my internet reasons, just servers breaking, things like that. Hopefully they can get that stuff up. I think PSN struggles a little bit with all the influx. But yeah. But overall, like, multiplayer wise and stuff, like, you can create your own session. If you want to just play by yourself, you can limit it to just a private session, just you. If you want to create your own session and have it open to anyone, you can set all these different categories, like, beginner levels, obviously your levels, your hunter ranks, you set comments to what you want, do you want voice chat, stuff like that. It's all there. It's all there, and you can set it all up, and people can go in and search them, or you can just straight up matchmake, and they'll matchmake you to what they think. Like, they'll take your hunter rank, and they'll just, and where you are, I think where you are in the story, and they'll set you up with the people in the similar area. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty good that way. And then hunting as in multiplayer is, the monsters scale to you. If you're in a group, it'll scale up to being in a group, I think, whether it's 2 to 4. But if you're single, it will scale to a single player. So either way, it's pretty good in that sense. So if you like multiplayer or if you like solo, there's both for you. There is both for you. I think there's been some things where the monsters are teleported a little bit. Just new game stuff, little glitches here and there, just a little bit if you're really looking for it. But that's nitpicky stuff. That's nitpicky. It's not really too much of a thing there. I think the biggest surprise for
Sisters
me
and
in
brothers
this
of the
has
Fifth
been
Fleet, it's time.
the cutscenes.
I'll keep my farewell brief.
Story that's playing out.
Never was much with words.
So story-wise,
board
it's
this
all
ship,
about a new world.
there's no turning
This
back.
commission has sent
The next ground your feet
go
will
to this
touch
new world
will
to
be
study.
that of the new
And
world.
one fleet can only go over every 10
If any
years.
of you
because
have lost
the
your
only way they
nerve,
can find
then
this
step
new
away
world
now,
is by
and
following
let
an
no
elder
one judge
dragon
you.
that's migrating to the new world.
Very
from,
well.
from the old
Then
world.
sail safe and
So,
strong, and
when
may
you
the
get there, you
sapphire
meet, like,
star
the first fleet with,
light your
guys
way.
that have been there for like 50 or 60 years, are there. There are kids that have been born there and never seen the new world. So you got like the first fleet was like the pioneers. They were the badasses, the ones that came there and set it all up. Second fleet, I think, were like engineers and the backup and just to solidify the the actual running of the place. Third fleet was like research, and I think fourth fleet was additional backup and like supplies and all that. And then fifth fleet is you. You're the fifth fleet. You're the the A-lister hunters going in that are gonna push this research to its conclusion, as they're trying to figure out why the elder dragons come here and why certain things are happening. I don't want to spoil some stuff, so it's been very good. And the cutscenes that play, like, story wise, and then also for monster intros and stuff, are so good. So good. Like, if you're not gonna get the game, at least go on the YouTube. Go on YouTube and see cutscene, like the different cutscenes and stuff. I'm sure people put them up by now. Go and see them. They're very, very good. And also, the thing that surprised me was how much of an interaction that your character has in those cutscenes, and the fact that your character is actually a fully customizable character to a pretty decent extent. Like, if people that really get into their character customizations, they could spend an hour. They could spend an hour there, I think, just like slowly. Okay, this is the right color. This is the right shape. This is the right hair. Different things like that. Different things like that. Like, I was surprised in the character customization. I was, it's never been a big thing with Monster Hunter, the character customization, because you always wore a helmet. But in this one, you can actually choose to hide your helmet. You can hide it. And some of the armor sets actually allow you to see the faces. There's open armor, open helmets and stuff. You can even just set it to, I just want it to be shown on a cutscene. Hide only on cutscenes. So that's, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I was surprised. And the actual things that your character does in those cutscenes, which is normally not something that you see on a fully customizable character, what they do is pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. Story itself,
All right.
has some typical.
Let's go over the
crazy
operation.
Monster Hunter stuff.
The subterranean
not into
channel
that,
Zora Magdaros
very-
is using
some of the
continue deep
some of it's a
underground.
little anime.
We'll have
here
one
and
shot
there.
to divert it here when it
But I
surfaces.
don't mind that. I actually like a little bit of anime here and there.
If we
some
let
of the
it slip
characters
by,
are a little outrageous.
it's
in
out of our
places.
reach forever.
Like
That's
that,
why
your handler that you
I'm
have.
breaking out the
girl,
big guns.
She makes those instant kills very, very quickly. Like, if she met you for like 2 seconds, she's like, if something happens to you, you'll hold eyes so she can get away, but she's alright. Yeah.
This is the
She's
Dragonator.
okay.
We'll use it to
I'm-
drive Zora back and
I'm
divert it
actually
out
not
into the open sea.
But yeah, it's very good. The base Asteria is very good too. The forge, the actual smithy that you go in there, has like this conveyor belt that has countless weapons coming off of it. There's a cutscene that shows the guys making the gear, but you don't actually see the materials that you do. But your stuff comes out on the conveyor belts, and then obviously you got the cantina with the palicos, and there's the buffest palico chef you have ever seen. He's a badass, and in majority of the cutscenes, he does absolutely nothing. He's like puts a sprig on the meal, like the finishing touches. He's like the head chef. He doesn't like. He has all these little chefs around him. They do everything, and he's like perfect. That sort of thing. It's very cool. It's very good. You get your own room. Which then, as you go through the story, it actually upgrades. And in that room, you can actually have pets. So around the world, there's a whole bunch of small little creatures, and you get a capture net. And you can go around, and you can capture all of them. So if you are a bit of a Pokemon fan, if you like to collect all these little creatures and have them all around, you can do that. You can have a little creature on the ground, and the further along you go in the story, the more pet slots you get. You get better rooms, and each better room has bigger pet slots and different places to show them. And the final room is amazing and has amazing music. But you can have like 10 pets all doing different things, and you can feed them and all the rest of it. So that's all there. There's also a garden to grow a couple of things if you want, like herbs and stuff. And yeah, there's like shops. Like I said, with the investigation stuff, there's bounties there where you can collect so many rocks, collect so many. Yeah, it's like subquests that you can add, which can give you different things if you want. And then like research, which can help you track monsters quicker, so your scout flies can go off and find them quicker. So the more you fight that monster, the more research you get, and then that allows you to pretty much instantly track things, which is really handy. And yeah, Astera is really cool, very very cool, and obviously Poogie is there. Poogie the pig is there. The immortal pig, don't worry about that. Poogie's there. Don't worry about it. So yeah. I will say the music in this game is fantastic. It's so good. I want the soundtrack for it. It is, obviously you've got Proof of a Hero. That's always a Monster Hunter favorite, but some of them, like most of them are like, some of the older Monster Hunter music. It's just been done up a little bit, a little bit of a remix on some of them. Some of the, more famous Monster Hunter monsters, they have their own music that you recognize. But it's kind of been done up a little bit. It's so good. It's so good. I want the soundtrack. I want the soundtrack. But yeah, I mean I could talk this, Monster Hunter and all that for hours, but I don't really want to do a too long a review for you guys. So is it worth buying? That I would say, if you are into the Monster Hunter type of game, which is fighting big monsters, going in, kind of a boss battle like thing, somewhat similar to Dark Souls in a way, just not as dark as that, not as slow either, like, combat wise, as depending on what weapon you had. It's got lots of gathering. It's got, like, you will have to grind some monsters. So if you're not into that, probably not for you. But if you are a Monster Hunter fan in any way, just a casual one or anything, this is a game to get. This is a game to get. Like, I heard, one of my friends is like, if you own a PlayStation and you don't have this, you might as well sell your PlayStation. So that sort of thing, that's what people are saying about it. And for me, like I said, I was hyped for this game, and it's meet all those expectations. It's been very, very good. If you just, I'm running on a PS4 Pro. I think it runs. A lot of people have said it runs perfectly fine on a normal PS4. The beta, I ran it on a PS4, and it seemed to run pretty fine. So yeah, I personally, like, if you're not sure, check out some streams, check out some gameplay and stuff like that. Like I said, I do have a crazy Monster Hunter fight up on the channel too. So if you do want to see like what gameplay's like without my head in the way, that's there. But there's a whole bunch of streams going on. There's a whole bunch of YouTube videos and stuff. Check that out and then come and see it. But for me personally, this is just a fantastic game. Absolutely fantastic game. Like 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I think if the multiplayer was done right, it'd be a 10 out of 10 for me. Truly. And it's only going to get more stuff. We're getting free DLC stuff coming, new monsters, new armor sets, new everything. So this is a continuously evolving game. So I'm set. And I mean, if you like crazy tie-in stuff, like there's a Horizon Zero Dawn one where you can make yourself look like Aloy, and you can make your Palico look like a Watcher. I know there's a Street Fighter one coming out very soon. There is a Mega Man one. There is countless stuff, and like it's all this obviously the Horizon Zero Dawn was Sony related, but Capcom is going to probably throw a majority of their licenses into this. So if you like crazy stuff, outfits and all that, they'll all be in here too. They'll all be in here as well. Like the Mega Man one has the original Mega Man music playing when you have your Palico dressed up like classic Mega Man. If you like that. But yeah, like I said, I could talk this for hours, but I didn't want to. I don't want to go this too long. Like I said, probably 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for me, truly. There's a bit of a learning curve there, but it's well worth. It's well worth the play. Well worth it. But yeah. All right, guys, that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace. Bye.